Here comes the motherfucking G, pimp tight in your motherfucking hood. Like that should be understood. We ain't stopping, nigga, nah, we ain't falling, we ain't quit. When you see me wanna stop, nigga, we all bullshitting in this motherfucker. When a sucker rusher, put the things on it, make him see some stars. Then rain on it, keep your aim on it. It ain't all about the hen and the hay. You see me in the streets, I bet you think I wanna play. Look here, I ain't got time. Look at me close, but through all the bullshit, seeing me blind. I got a purpose in this motherfucker. I'm in the show, if I can make it, you can make it in this motherfucker. Ain't no other brother gonna do it for you. He might help, but when it all boils down, still in it for yourself. You got a family, I got a family, and goddamn it, me time to let that real ass man in me take a stand for me. I got plans to be set tight, and ain't shit finna fuck up my plans to get right. Shit, reaching for fuck negative. Better get with better things to touch better shit. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall, and I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes for the thing. What they do? They gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. A-ball, yeah. MJG, we gon' get straight out the mind of a nigga who done seen the light up all night, trying to figure out why shit ain't right. Uptight, ecstasy done got the best of me. Got me gritting my teeth and I can't go to sleep. Feel the beat, bump, bump. Beating up a nigga back, bout to bust out the trunk. We crunk, we dumb, if a nigga won't funk. But I don't really think the motherfuckers want none. Pimp nigga, South nigga, running his mouth nigga. Pull out a map and choose another route nigga. Prisoner of war and I can't get out nigga. Mass face, drop it off like it's a drought nigga. Swab house nigga, big ball and MJ. Space age pimpin', doing it the play away. Underground, independent, making mo dough. Hustling cause no dough is a no-no. Fuck hoes, let me hold something I can fold. Thinking you fly when that shit you poppin' is old. Cold-blooded like Rick with this rap shit. And if a nigga wanna scrap shit, I don't give a fuck. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall, and I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes for the fame. What they do? They gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. A-ball, yeah. MJG, we don't give a fuck. That pimp shit you wanna roll with. Stay in control, stay on your toes with. Never fold with, behold with. Back on the hose with. Eat lunch, change clothes, been rolling on Voline to the side, fold those with plenty of tint. I got my windows black in. Soon as you ride clear, you let them haters back in. Bitches be acting like soap opera. Fuck you hoes, go and see you a dope doctor. Shit that you tryin', baby, I'm already done with it. You be the fifth, I be the motherfucking one with it. I got my nuts, and my guts, and my heart in it. Give me a crack and see if I don't put a part in it. From the start in it, we had hard in it to win it. 30 birdies, straight love like tennis. Rhyme minutes, finish all point shavers. Bump and grind until we make our shit major. Until then, you can hit me on the pager. One savior, remember that, and we gon' keep it on the cool. Smoking act a fool and take rookies to school. Veteran MC, purple ribbon pedigree. Tennessee MC, Mr. B.I.G. and MJG. Hard from the fucking start, hard from the fucking start, cause we don't give a fuck. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall, and I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes for the fame. What they do? They gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breathe. We don't give a fuck. Crossing the sands of Babylon. Point shavers set traps and ambushes. Space age hoes use hypnotic touches and aromas. Extraterrestrial bitches putting tricks in comas. As I hover above the slums, tower, smoking orange juice, sniffing information, loving life. Bitch, I don't give a fuck.
Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we getting deeper in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have to talk about a very serious subject matter here tonight. If you are a foundational Black American freedman or an on-code non-FBA brother and sister, you will definitely want to pay attention and take notes from this broadcast here tonight, okay? Sundown towns are a very real thing in 2025 in America. Many never went away. Some have just evolved. And a lot of times people, if you're passing by these places, no matter where they are in the continental United States, you probably would mistake them for just average places in the daytime. However, it's good to be aware of where these places are all across the country, north, east, south, west, because they're all over the United States, not just in the South, okay? So I want to make sure I'm clear on that. Now, before we get into tonight's subject matter here, because this is going to be very important. Again, if you hadn't shared this broadcast already, take a moment to do so while I'm speaking, because I need all Black women to pay attention to this. This is one of those broadcasts where I want you to listen. Even if you don't agree with everything I say, you're not supposed to agree with all and anything anybody says. I hope you're not. That means you're not thinking for yourself. But on top of that, even if you dislike me, because I don't care about being liked or disliked, I still want you to be safe, okay? That's the type of broadcast we're doing here tonight. Everybody needs to learn for this. Now, with me saying that, I understand there's going to be some knuckleheads. Everything that I'm saying going to fall on deaf ears. That'll be most unfortunate because the threat is very real, and we're going to prove that here tonight. I've already gone over this many, many, many times over the years on this channel. Many, many times, more than I can even count. But we're going to review this account here tonight. So now, before we get into that, I have something I need to say. Y'all probably noticed that when we got the cooking on the last broadcast and dealing with little old Peanut here, Mr. Frank Zanu. Oh, man. You know, they censored a portion of the broadcast, the part where old Ronald Wilson Reagan and Richard I Am Not a Crook Nixon were having a phone call. So now here's the thing. The full uncensored version of that is on Patreon. You can find it over there. Need to know how to join the Patreon. The link is in the description box of the channel and in the about section of the channel. Join that. It's over there, the full version. Now, I could try to see if I can do a little workaround and like premiere it later, but you know, y'all have to let me know if that's what you want over here. But the other alternative is sitting right over there on Patreon. And in addition to that, you'll find a lot of other good content over there as well. Any member of the Patreon over there, y'all already know how we get down. Speaking of which, gonna be a whole lot of content coming up over there very soon. Vast different types of subject matter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, we got a lot coming. Okay, so after this particular broadcast tonight, I'm going to get to work organizing some of that and putting the finishing touches on it and uploading that new content. So if you're a member over there, you'll get it. It'll be content in both of the tiers that's over there. And yeah, like I said, and we'll be having another live stream coming up over there very soon. And one more announcement. If all goes well, this coming Friday here, we're going to be having another X Space. Oh, yes, I'm going to be having a guest. We're going to be getting some things straightened out across the board, dealing with the tether class, okay? Oh, yeah, we going to go there, and I think y'all are going to be very, 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 very well informed with the guests that I have coming, okay? And y'all can come participate over there. One last thing before we get started here tonight, I'm saying this in advance, and I'm going to take some responsibility for this because it's something that I don't do enough of. I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to make sure I say it on the X Space coming up this Friday, and I'm going to reiterate it from time to time. I try not to let folks that I don't recognize from around the grassroots spaces up because I'm like, okay, my space, I don't do all the trolling for clicks and views. I'm not an engagement light guy. I believe our conversation should be constructive with the family. You know, I'm not really trying to debate no goofy trolls. That's pointless to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, to each his own, they can do what they want to do. That's not how I run mine. But also, the other number one rule that I have in my spaces, besides Black men respecting Black women respecting Black men. It's okay to disagree with somebody, raise a question, challenge a point. Don't mind that as long as it's done in a civil manner. I'm going to tell you right now, for those that are not familiar with how I conduct my spaces, that's the grown folks section of X, okay? We don't do the kiddie pool, 13th grade bullshit over there. Come over in my spaces with the hood rat bullshit or this nigga bullshit, I will kick your ass out faster than you can say your own name, okay? White supremacists are not allowed, don't really have no reason to talk to them. In fact, the business out of all the spaces I've had, I've only had one white person over there. It was a white lady. And, you know, you can make what you will of that conversation, okay? But I only have them over there unless it's going to be something constructive or with the intent to. Now, last part of the rules. I'm going to say this as plainly as I can, and I'm going to use expletive vernacular English, kind that everybody should understand, okay? When you are on my X spaces, if you come up on the panel, a couple things you're going to have to remember, okay? You don't interrupt the host, myself. Don't interrupt my co-host, all right? Host and co-host can interject at anywhere, anytime we please. If you also come up and you're allowed to speak, do not try to give a filibuster as if no other person comes to speak. Because, see, last couple of experiences, I do that unless I have a guest and I'm talking to him. That's cool. Like, shout out to my good brother, Cool Keezy. You know what I'm saying? That brother, we got to do a part 2 of that. But other folks will come up sometime. And I've seen this done in other people's spaces. That's probably why they think everybody does this. They'll try to make the space center around them, even when the main guest is the one that's being talked to. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to start cutting people off and kicking out my space. And I have a rule. If I tell you what my rules are and you go against what I say, I'm going to block your ass, okay? I don't do that back full bullshit. I'll go on. No, I believe if we grown and you don't have some type of mental disorder, all your cognitive abilities are functioning, I shouldn't have to tell you something more than twice. If I say, shut the fuck up when the host or co-host is talking, that's exactly what the fuck I mean, okay? I don't play all that bullshit like people do in the other spaces. See, a lot of these people, when they communicate, they do it like they did in high school. I'm a grown man, okay? And I operate by grown man rules, okay? So again, come up as a guest, speak specifically to the topic, make your comments brief so we can get other people to speak. If not, I will land your plane permanently. I will crash that motherfucker into the ground, okay? Ain't gonna be no coming back. That's how I do it, okay? That's what I'm cut from. I don't play them kinds of games. So I hope that will be understood. I'll reiterate it again on my spaces because, you know, I try to give people time. But see, you know, in closing on that particular matter, some people don't have no home training. That's kind of like somebody come in your house, put their feet on your couch, go in your refrigerator without asking, just acting a fucking ass, an embarrassment to their people's upbringing, okay? All of us weren't raised in no goddamn barn, all right? Well, I'm going to make sure that the rules are enforced in my virtual house. All right, now that we gotten that straight, and salute to the good sister, Janelle Holloway, with her gorgeous self. I see you, Chocolate. Hey, how you doing? Hey, anyways, you know, we about to get cooking here, but before I do, let me scroll up and greet my esteemed guests that I see. Building, I can see all of you first and foremost. Okay, there we go. Now I can see the chat. Salute to the good brother Emmanuel Briggs in the house. I see Heat St. Cloud. My good brother Cool Keezy. That brother right there has good content on X. Brother Cool Keys, I'm not sure if you have a YouTube channel now, but you got to let me know, man, so I can promote that. Because, by the way, I am going to still do that stream where I'm going to try to put together a bunch of the new channels, especially the smaller ones that I want people to know about, that have good information. So yours is definitely going to be included in that. Brother Black Truth United and many others. Okay, I see Project Leroy in here. Patricia Jenkins is in the house. Stun Zed, Sister Stun Zed, I see you. Let's see, Tanisha Murdoch is in here. My good brother, Mr. Sam, is in the building. Derek Parker's in here. Let's see. Who else do I see? Mrs. L, there she goes. All right, what's going on, sister? I see Lee Holmes in the building. Let's see, Emma Johnson, I see you. Who else is in here? Blueberry Muffin is in here. Only Pamela's Way is in here. Win Ben Scratch is in here. Josh Norris, the young brothers, are here. And my good brother, Dad Miller TV. Salute and welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody else that'll be joining us tonight. One more announcement, too, by the way. what I've decided to do, because like it's a big deal to me for anybody that supports this channel and any of our platforms, try to give you acknowledgement. So y'all know the contributors list I usually post, right? What I think I'm gonna do with that, because I've been noticing what ends up happening is like, okay, when I was trying, since we got so many more people, and shout out to all the new subscribers, by the way. Welcome to you if you like straight talk over here and beneficial news that you can use on a range of different things. But what I've been noticing since I've gotten all these new subscribers, a lot more support's coming in. So the old habit was this. Usually, like the next day, I would post the contributors list with some type of post up under there with everybody's name that contributed to the broadcast. Calling myself trying to wait to make sure everybody had no time. So what I've been noticing is, now that I've gotten more people over here, more support, when I do that, I'm leaving people off. You know what I'm saying? You know, people contribute. So what I've decided to do, I said, okay, let's try it this way. What I'll do, I'll wait about 2 or 3 broadcasts and just make a list of the names. And then like in the middle of the week, I'll post then, and then I'll post at like the end of the week. Okay. I think it'll be better that way, because sometimes, man, hey, man, shout out to all of y'all for all the support that you give. I appreciate it. Hey, y'all keep supporting. I'm going to keep being the same person. One thing you will always be able to count on with this brother right here on this microphone, I am not selling out. They've tried to get me to do a lot of Sam Boys things. Oh, boy, I need to go and show y'all some of them emails. They coming. Let me tell you something, man. If you got a big or a small channel, medium-sized channel, whatever, man, these Democrat shields and Republican shields, they be coming after you now. Oh, they be coming trying to get you on board the team. Let me take this time here and cover your ears and hide your small children. I need to send them a message real quick. I don't care whether Democrat or Republican, because I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm not liberal nor conservative, okay? Even though if you had to categorize my political views, they would be more center-right. But cover your baby's ears, put some holy water in there. I need to say this to them. Okay, I give y'all about 5 seconds to do that before I give them this important message, because they need to understand this, okay? So, for the Democrats and Republicans that's in my email trying to get me to sell out and all this other bullshit, need you to come very close to the mic. I have a special message for you. Fuck you and everything you stand for. My voice speaks for my people and my audience over here, and they did not give me their support over the years for me to be no goddamn sellout. So you can stop emailing me with shit. You can go to hell with gasoline draws on. I'm not interested in nothing that you goddamn selling, okay? Now, I think I put that in some French they can understand. Do you think so, family? Do you believe they were able to understand your brother? Because if not, hey, I speak other languages. I can translate it now, but, you know, I'm using the universal bluntness that I think most of them understand if they speak English, okay? So, now, speaking of being able to hear me, give me a black fist or a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me very well, because this is going to be very important. I want to get any audio issues straightened out before we start here, if there are any. So I will wait for confirmation in the chat. Black fist or a thumbs up if you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Wait for a couple of them to come in there, because we about to get started here shortly. I just had to get those preliminary announcements out the way. All right. Because look, what's going to happen, speaking of the announcement I just made, them people keep on finding my goddamn email. I'm going to put your asses on blast, okay? I don't want what you offering. I am not for sale. I'm trying to make it clear now. All right, good. My audience can hear me loud and clear. So, family, without further ado, we're going to get started. And again, this is going to be a broadcast where, you know, I want all black people in America, no matter your lineage, to pay close attention. I'm going to let, you know, the account here of what happened play for a good bit, but I'm going to be stopping it to tell you what you can do to protect yourself. We're not just going to go over it. We're going to talk about what can be done to protect yourself and prevent being in these situations in the first place. And I especially want the women to listen to this. Again, I don't care what your lineage is. I don't care whether you agree or disagree with everything on this channel. This is a safety issue for black people in America, okay? That's what I'm doing this for tonight. That's it. We're going to get started. I want y'all to put your listening ears on and your thinking caps on. Let's get into it.
Okay, hello everyone. This is my sister Pam and I, and we on here to talk about something that happened to us coming home from Atlanta, Georgia, this past weekend. Okay, so I want to start because we're a little nervous talking about this, and what I mean by that, because we still kind of shook up for the fact that it happened to us and we wasn't expecting this. Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get started right here, because one of the things that I find very important for us as men to do, okay, no matter our lineage, we're supposed to take the lead on the security of our families and making sure that all those under our charge understand how to conduct themselves when they're not in our presence. Okay, that's primary responsibility. Now, I'm pretty sure most of the brothers that's over here my age, that's probably the type of household you came from, but it's definitely how I was. Okay, look, let me tell y'all something real quick. The way I was raised as a child, if there was any problems at my schools, the women didn't show up. All the men in the family showed up. They're like, nah, you got something to say, you said to us. I'm talking from my father to my uncle, even my grandfather, okay, on both sides. They let them people know that, hey, this one has somebody that's going to stand up for him if you get out of line, all right? Now, I said that to say this. Men of a family are a very, very important part of the family. We are the support beam, the shield that protects our families from danger before it gets to them. I'm going to tell you right now, the way I was raised, if it's a threat to the family, you take care of it before it even get to their doorstep. A lot of times they may not even know about it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to do it. So the sister was saying that they wasn't prepared. Let me talk to my sisters over here. I love you to life, but you should always be prepared in these times. See, it is very dangerous to take the attitude of ain't no racism, and I'm not saying these sisters did that, or the other one that's just as dangerous, where you just don't want to talk about it, you know, because sometimes, unfortunately, some women think that the best way to deal with a problem is just to ignore it. You can't solve any problem by ignoring it. You can put it off, you cannot talk about it, but then the thing about life, it is very unpredictable, and sometimes you find yourself in a situation where if you had prepared for it, you would be able to mitigate that situation. Ignoring things do not solve problems. And that's the reason why you need men in your lives. I get it, everybody's situation different. You can tell by the way these sisters are talking, they don't have husbands. I'm not kicking nobody's back in. I'm saying it because men see danger and security different than women do. Let me tell you something. When it comes to how men operate, every woman in here probably have seen this. And if your husbands or significant others hadn't talked to you about it, ask them sometime. They'll back up what I'm saying in the chat room if they're listening. Sometimes as men, you might see us in silence, walking around the house, looking at certain things. And you probably wonder, what the hell are we doing? Well, we're thinking about the security of that house. See, a lot of times women are just looking at how pretty something is or how nice it looks. We're like, no, let's see if these hedges are low enough so we can see, you know what I'm saying, out the window. Can't nobody hide behind them. We're looking at all kinds of things, okay? When we're on the road, we're thinking about the safety of the family. You know what I'm saying? On vacation, wherever we at. That don't ever turn off with a man, all right? That's our job, is to protect. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? You know, if we're good at what we do, a lot of times y'all don't even realize what all goes through our heads. You know what I'm saying? Because we want our family safe. So when you don't have any man around to think about the things that some sisters ordinarily wouldn't put at the forefront, you'll find yourself in situations like these sisters are about to describe here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there for now, but I'm going to let them tell more about their experience, and I'm going to chime back in with some things that will help prevent these types of situations. Let's let it continue.
Well, I'm gonna go all the way back to when we was in Atlanta this weekend. My niece's birthday was Saturday. And we went to celebrate her birthday in Atlanta, Georgia. We had a marvelous time. As a matter of fact, we had a great time.
Yes, Atlanta was good to us.
It was good. We went to the aquarium. We went to, what was that, cake and what else?
Cake and sip.
Cake and sip. And then we went, I don't know.
Sugar factory of Atlanta.
Yeah, the sugar factory. Okay, but anyway, we're just trying to tell the happy part first, because the other part is going to get, you know, it's going to get wild. So anyway, we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time. And so Sunday come. We had breakfast. We had a marvelous time, and so we loading up to get ready to go back home. And the time that we left was it like 4 something?
It was later than that.
Okay, so we left like 5 or 6
around 5:36, which we should have gotten on the road
Yeah.
early. It's always good to ride daytime, especially ladies.
Yeah, kind of put your face.
I would say that it's best to ride daytime. I'm
Yeah.
camera shy when it comes to talking like this.
Especially ladies. So that's the reason why we trying to put you where at a narrative where we trying to show you that it is very important to if women's. I mean, although we had other people with us, we had our sons with us and my little niece, of course, it was her birthday. But if you're gonna leave at an earlier time, please do, because what we're getting to is these sundown towns. And now I guess I'm finna go into that part now. Okay, so we leave around, I guess, like 5-ish or whatever, maybe 6. And then so the GPS was telling us we would probably make it home like 11 something or whatever, maybe 12 midnight. So anyway, we make it, we stop at Buc-ee's, grab a few things that kind of throwed us back a little bit. So of course then our arrival time was at 1-ish or whatever. So my mom called us around the time, I think it was like close to 10 o'clock. No.
Not quite.
It was like 8-ish. It was 8. But anyway, my mom called. She called my phone because she knew Pam was driving.
Using a GPS.
Using her GPS. So she called my phone. And so we got off into the conversation because she was trying to find out what time we was going to make it home. And so we told her what time we would probably make it home, give or take. We told her that we had stopped and da-da-da-da. So, anyway, at the time that she was calling us, we was in a conversation with her. We accidentally passed Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I think I said that word right.
Yeah.
But
our turn.
we missed our turn. So I was like, Pam was like, "Oh boy, we missed the turn," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, we did, and more than likely we getting ready to get on some
back road.
the back roads."
So and that's
so
where the GPS.
So
took
she
us.
was like, the GPS is guiding me this way, so I see what's what. Well, anyway, it took us to a town called, and we wasn't paying any attention. And don't get me wrong, I'm very aware of sundown towns thanks to TikTok. If it had not been for TikTok, and how we can relate to each other and warn each other about certain things, I probably would have never known about these towns. But anyway.
So let me stop the sisters right here, okay? Couple things I'm gonna mention. First, let's work backwards. She said, and this, when I heard this, man, it just made my spine freeze up and cringe, because I know I'm right about what I'm saying. Over here in these black grassroots spaces, I don't care which platform you listen to, mine, whoever else you want to name, so many different people, men and women alike. We don't play about these things. However, there are people that have never heard of any platform over here. I don't care whether it's a large one, small one, whatever. And they kind of have the mentality, well, oh, don't worry about that. Oh, that was a long time ago, et cetera, et cetera. And just making an educated guess, this sister was probably that way, because what made me cringe was she said that she would not have known about these types of things if it wasn't for TikTok. That indicates to me that's a black person that really is probably only vaguely aware of the anti-black racism history in this country. Or if they bring something like that up, somebody brings it up around them, they want to deflect and change the subject because it's an uncomfortable conversation. It is better to be in the know and aware as a black person when it comes to racism and white supremacy, because that is a life or death issue for us, okay, across all facets of American society. Now, let's talk about some things that could have been done to prevent what they're about to say is coming up. I'm going to do this with balance, okay? I'm going to give you the first obvious thing. This is what having a husband is for, or a male significant other that's worth a damn, okay? So that they can travel with you, but let's be realistic. You're not going to be in each other's presence all the time. So what you do is you let people know where you're going, okay? You check in, And then when it comes to being a good navigator, you want to make sure you're well rested before you get on the road. Now, I agree with what they're saying. It's better for if you just women traveling in the daytime, depending on where you're going. But here's something else I have to point out about that as well. Okay. What you're going to have to start doing if you are in a situation where you don't have a husband or a significant other, or a man that's worth a damn, you're going to have to start letting the other women in the family know where you're going. And if it looks like, and I want y'all to pay attention, ladies, okay, for the ones that will get the message. If it looks like you coming from somewhere and it's going to be dark before you get back, you need to arrange somebody to meet you at a halfway point, okay? That way y'all can use the buddy system to travel back together. You understand? Now, the first thing you want to make sure you're doing is paying attention so you don't be missing your turns. But let's talk about this also. Right now, hopefully most of the ladies over here, I know y'all are already sitting already, but your car needs to be prepared for any eventuality. Now, what do I mean? I'm not talking about just having the tool set in the trunk with all the essentials that you need just in case there's some type of minor breakdown, etc. Flashlights on the interior, more than one. All right. You definitely need to practice your Second Amendment right. Okay. Now, if you've been on my Patreon, you already know I go from the A to the zero of the things that I think women should have in their cars. All right. As far as being able to protect themselves, some good old bear mace, a good old fashioned type of blade, but definitely first and foremost, have license to carry so that you have some type of Second Amendment protection in your vehicle. More than the one. Okay. Because, I mean, you look, nobody's looking for trouble, but we're Black in America. Trouble's going to look for us no matter what we do. Okay. So you need to have those things in your vehicle. And again, I'm going to reiterate this because I'm speaking with balance. I know everybody's situation isn't a perfect fantasy land situation. It's unmarried sisters out here. I still want you to be safe. You better practice that buddy system method that I talked about. Again, if you coming from a long ways from somewhere, hey, call your family up. Hey, you know, can you meet me woo place? Y'all have a designated place. You need to, like, if it's a place that you going back and forth to, it's a long drive, you need to already have these safety meeting spots, okay? Where, you know, you have that person on deck where you call them and they come and meet you there and then y'all ride the rest of the way back. See what I'm saying? Or if it's some type of trouble, you need to let people know where you are. And then again, okay, because see where they was at, Jasper, man. Yeah, that's one of them good old boy times right there. Yeah, I'm gonna let them go ahead and finish telling what they was going through, but you got to be prepared for these situations, okay? Because see, here's the old saying, and y'all have heard this before. I've said this many times. I'm a big believer of this thing right here. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And see, I'm the guy that's always over prepared for things. All right, that's me. I don't care what nobody thinks of that. I'm like, should the worst or the unexpected happen, I'm going to be ready within measure to either mitigate it completely or make sure it's not as bad as it could be if I was not sitting prepared. Okay. And if you're on my Patreon, you know, I've given you a breakdown of what a bug out bag is, the different types of stuff that you need to have in there. All right. So, you know, these sisters right here, like I said, they look like average sisters in Black America, but you're going to hear their account. You know, it's not really going to, you know, lend itself to them being prepared on the things that I'm talking about. Because, see, one thing I'm going to say to all the sisters listening to me, whether you listen to this live or on the playback, one of the things that I know sometimes it's hard to get through to some of y'all, them hard heads. Y'all be thinking you just going to go through life. Oh, this ain't going to never happen to me. Don't ever think that way. I'm telling you now, most of the men in this chat room, you understand where I'm coming from when I say that. You don't ever take that complacent attitude about what won't ever happen. Life is unpredictable in America when you Black, okay? And see, you unfortunately, these evil, cowardly, demonic white supremacists, you got to understand something. I tell any woman I deal with, whether I deal with her seriously or on a casual level, I tell them all this, okay? Even my platonic, friendly female acquaintances, I tell them the same thing. As a Black woman in America, you don't understand that when these cowardly demons see you, even if you don't see them, We have white supremacists in this country that look for and target those of you that are without men. I get it. We're in a time period where everybody's made that fashionable. You think it's cool. I don't need no man. That sound cute until you're in a dangerous situation. You understand me? See, I tell you what you need to hear. This ain't Derrick Jackson, Dr. Umar, and all these ass-kissing bastards that just kiss women's ass and just tell them what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear. I value your safety for real. So I'm telling you straight. That shit running around without a man long term, especially running around at night like that, that is not safe. Because, and here's the other thing too. Let me tell y'all ladies this, all right? Hopefully most women, I know most women over here know this, but there could be some young sister listening that don't know no better. Now, as a man, if I had a wife, kids, a family, what have you, I'm old school with it. I would be the one that get up early in the morning while everybody sleep and go fill all the vehicles up with gas, make sure they good, wherever they got to go, so that way they ain't gonna forget to fill up or be going nowhere at night. You got to be stopping nowhere, because that's the best thing. You need to keep that tank sitting as close to full as possible. You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman and you don't have no man there. Okay, so that's one good thing. Try to keep your tank topped off, you know what I'm saying, before you hit that road like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, hey, while you visiting or what have you, I'm going to tell you something else that's good to do, because I'm trying to be realistic about this, all right? Let's just say whatever trip they was taking, because she said they was coming back from Atlanta, all right? And they was trying to make it back home, all right? So while you visit, and you driving to whoever you going to see, check that tank. If it look like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and get some gas on the way going. That way you ain't got to be stopping on the way back nowhere. You see what I'm saying? So, you got to kind of think ahead that way and see it's the responsibility of any man that's around you to try to instill that in you. Now, let me say one more thing before we let it continue. Everything that I just said, sound advice, it will definitely protect you. But I'm telling every woman on the sound of my voice this. It doesn't matter what a man tells you or anybody tells you. The only way it's going to be useful to you if you listen. If it going one end out your ass, it can't help you. You understand? I've always said for years on this channel, protection begins with an open ear. And unfortunately, and I don't say it with any joy, some of our women, you can't tell them nothing. They won't listen to anything you say. They think everything you say is to be argued with. Got to question it. I'm sitting here like, okay, if any man values your safety, it should be your own man. White men don't give a fuck if you live or die. Asian men, East Indian men, Arab men, Hispanic men. And I ain't talking about no small single digit exception to the rule. I'm saying in general. So I'm pleading with all sisters on the sound of my voice. You call it mansplaining, call it whatever the fuck you want. Sometimes it don't cost you nothing to listen to somebody. You better listen to the men that are most concerned for your safety, okay? So we're going to be talking more solutions over here tonight. Let's let it continue.
Thank God for TikTok for that purpose. So anyway, we ended up taking this town called, the GPS was taking us through the back road of this town called, what was that?
Sundown.
No, we not forgetting the town, Pam. It's called
It's with a V, ain't it?
No, it's that same town. It's like one of them in Georgia. What's the name of it?
In Texas.
Yeah, okay, that Texas, Jasper.
Jasper.
But this one is that we was not in Jasper, Texas. Okay, let's get that clear. It's Jasper, Alabama. I never heard of Jasper, Alabama. I knew about Jasper, Texas. So I'm over there writing because I was just doing my thing to kind of keep my mind, going as we drive. And so she's driving and we talking and my niece back here playing our music. My nephew was in the back asleep. He was laid back on the third row seat. And my son, he was just young man in his business, looking at his, videos and stuff, whatever. But anyway, we get through this town, and so it's taking us on these back roads. Okay, so we notice this big white truck behind us. We didn't think anything of it at first, but the truck was so big, and that's fine. But this truck kept driving behind us as if we were going too slow. So I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't know she was thinking to herself until we talked later, and at the about that incident that happened. So I'm noticing that he's driving aggressively behind us, real close, but
he had all the opportunity to go around.
To go around us. Cut the air up because I'm getting a little high on 78. He had all the opportunity in the world to go around us several times, not one time. Like, he could have went around us. He had the opportunity to go around us probably more than 7 times, 10 times, but he did not. He stayed behind us, driving extremely close to us, aggressively. So she was realizing that at the same time I was realizing it. Of course. But we didn't say anything about it. Then the GPS told us to take a left turn. I mean, we drove on that road for about 10 minutes, give or take. And so when we came off that road, we was thinking, okay, well, this man just not going to pass us. He just on our butt like this. And remind you, we was the only 2 on the road. Here and there, some other cars had passed through, but we was the only 2 on the road. So
let me pause the sisters right here, okay? And shout out to my good brother, Project Leroy. He said something very important up there earlier, and I've been saying this for years over here. Ladies, a lot of y'all have this bad habit of running around with them damn phones on damn near 10, 15%. Let me tell you something. You keep them phones charged. Now, most cars today, you know what I'm saying, have chargers in them, what have you, but keep them phones charged because that's your lifeline should something happen to you, for you to be able to reach out and get in touch with somebody. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, look, I'm hell about that. Let me tell you something. If you any woman that I've ever dealt with, I'm almost stay on your ass about that. Hey, keep that damn phone charged up. You know what I'm saying? Because if something happened, you need to have a way to get some communication towards people that can help you. Okay? So now, let me tell you something. And the sister Stuns Ed came up with something else too before I get to what I was going to say. Because see, this is why I love my chat room, man. Our people be on it over here. If you're a new person and you black, no matter where you from, no matter what your lineage you on code, you can get some good information from me and my chat room, okay? Sister Stuns Ed is saying, don't just trust that GPS. Know how to read and navigate using a paper map. I'm a big proponent of that. Yes, we all love technology for its convenience. Sometimes technology malfunctions. So in the event that happens, like that sister said, you need to know how to navigate on a paper map, all right? Now, in this particular situation right here, let me talk to the women, okay? So I've already said that, yes, the ideal situation would be if they had husbands traveling with men, you know what I'm saying, that are of age, not young people, men, okay, that are experiencing life, know how to deal with things. We're going to leave that alone for a second. Let's talk about the situation that they're in right now that a lot of women find themselves in. Let me talk to you, ladies, okay? This is coming from a retired military man, all right? In a situation like this, let me tell you where my mind would be and how I would train any woman I've dealt with to deal with this situation. Car full of women or kids or what have you. When you can verify everybody in that car that you are under duress, let me tell you, this is where you need to practice this before you get into that situation. If you know you're going to be traveling long distance away from home and you find yourself in a situation like this, everybody in the car needs to have a role. And when you say, hey, look, remember what we talked about if we ever got in a situation? Everybody needs to get to work. So if one person is trying to find where we at on the map, that's their job. One person in the car, hey, go ahead and get that firearm out. Make sure it's ready to use if we need it. Okay? Other person in the car, hey, go ahead and call back home. Let them know we need some help. We need to be met somewhere. We in trouble. Everybody needs to operate in problem-solving mode. Not scared, not afraid. That ain't going to get you out of that. You understand? See, that's how I do it. Look, let me tell you something, man. In my family, even us as men, we travel with a convoy system. You understand? Yes, I get it. Everybody doesn't come from a strict, stern family like I am. A lot of military men in my family. But hey, listen, boy, I'm going to tell you like this. If you were to try it with one of us, boy, and yeah, you better have your health insurance paid up. That ain't going to go so good for you. We are very strategic about how we move, okay? And I'm telling you this as a grown man, retired combat vet. We check in with each other. We let each other know where we going, what's the ETA. I mean, look, because we understand where we at in America. See, we don't play about our safety. And I'm telling you that, okay, as a man. So it goes double for women. Now, why do I say that? Now, I know all the older sisters in here, you know why I'm saying it, but I'm going to talk to the younger women for a minute. I've said this many times, all right? And I'm going to reiterate it again here tonight. As black women, and I know it's not fair, you shouldn't have to, be thinking about these types of things in this country, but this is the reality we live in. You should be able to just live your lives like normal people. Most of our sisters don't bother nobody, and they just trying to live their life and do whatever it is they're doing, going to visit people, have a good time, whatever. And that's your right to do that. It is, okay? So I'm acknowledging that. However, I have to keep in mind that you, being the black women that reproduce and make other black people, you are hated the most. You're hated the most. They hate all of us as a whole, but see, I'm going to tell you like this. Think of it in terms of you being, and I got to objectify you, but I'm doing this for a reason. Think of yourselves as a supply line, okay? You're the supply line to produce more black people. White supremacists hate black people. So anytime they see you, or heaven forbid, a little black child in a vulnerable situation, they think, how can I get rid of these little old niggas, okay? That's what they think. How can I get rid of these niggas? That's demonically insane. It's evil, but that's what these people are. They're cowards. They have no redeemable qualities whatsoever. They are demons posing in human skin. That means they are always looking for an opportunity to target the weakest amongst us, okay? Now, yes, when you get rid of the men, that leaves you vulnerable, but I'm telling you why they hate y'all the most. You make more black people. I know it's the most demonic thing ever, but this is how these people think, okay? And you don't have to believe me. Just look at how they treat us. There was a heartbreaking case that I was made aware of just yesterday about a young sister too, man. Damn, illegal alien murdered this young sister, man, and that pissed me off so bad. I'm probably going to be dealing with that soon, you know what I'm saying? But, it was a similar situation to this. Not quite the same, but I'll be dealing with that soon because I'm still very angry about that. This is why, I don't support no immigration whatsoever. We don't need no more of that. We cool. We good on that. But I'll deal with that at a later date. This situation right here, though, everything that I just said, you need to have designated roles and go into problem-solving mode. I get it. It would be a scary situation to be out there, but you got to understand something. If you break down and succumb to fear, that's going to exacerbate the danger that you're in because you can't think straight, okay? And see, this is one of the primary differences between straight-laced, rock-solid men that have experience in life. We deal with fear a bit different, okay? Most men, yes, we all feel it. It's a natural human emotion, but we don't let it cripple us. We're like, nope. So see, let me tell you what I think everybody should benefit from, all right? And I'm saying this as a man, and hopefully everybody can understand and take this to heart. Fear is a normal thing, but one of the things you have to let fear do is motivate you to get back home to your loved ones or whatever it is that you enjoy in life. You have to understand that if you're going to get out of whatever dangerous situation you're in, let that be your driving factor. That's going to force you to think more than succumb to being crippled by fear, okay? So again, everybody should have a designated role on what to do in that situation. And again, I'm going to tell all women, you don't ever travel no back roads at night by yourself. All right? Ever in life do you do that. All right? Back to business. You know what? Before I let them continue, I'm going to name a couple of weapons that I want all my brothers and all my women to go and get if you don't have no dude in your life, because I get it. Everybody got different situations. Brothers, some of y'all probably already know what I'm about to say. For personal protection, all right, yes, whatever pistol you comfortable with, but I'm going to tell you something else I recommend keeping in, if not the trunk of your vehicle, somewhere on the interior, a Remington 870, the witness protection model, or a TAC 14. If you've seen those shotguns right there, hey, they are very compact, and those are the ones that I start every woman off with that I deal with. I'll be like, hey, you need to learn how to use this. It's easy to fit in your hand. The recoil ain't too bad, but it's got stopping power. Now, all my brothers in here, if you're familiar with that Remington 870 system, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You understand? So I want all of you women to look into that. Fact of business, hey, tell you what, and I'm saying whether you married, not married, looking to get in that Remington 870, witness protection model, all right, or a TAC 14, and get some experience practicing with that. Trust me, that is a great investment. It's a good home defense tool. It's compact, all right? And trust me, usually that right there, that'll get the job done. And the great thing about a shotgun, hey, even if you're not the greatest aimer, hey, you don't need to be a good aimer. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if it's in front, you can hit it, okay? Yeah, I want my people to be safe, man. I don't want y'all out here unprepared. So just consider that. Like I said, you know, if you go and get that and try it, you'll see why I'm recommending it. It's other things I could recommend, but can't get too deep into that here on this channel. But just consider what I'm saying. We're going to let it continue.
When the GPS told us to make the left turn, it's this other car. Well, I noticed this other car from around the corner or somewhere just drove, real quick around behind this big white truck. But when the truck got ready to, when we got ready to take the left exit, this truck, my sister taking the left exit, that's my gum on my finger. But anyway, she was taking that left exit. He did not have his signal light on at all. It's like he was trying to see which way we were going. So when she made the left turn, when she went over the road and went to where the GPS was taking us, he was right on us. He did not stop. He did not turn a signal light on. He was just with us. He was keeping up with us. So this other car that was on the side over there, he just looped. I mean, I assume it was a he, and I'm rather sure it was. So I'm gonna say he came and looped behind him. And so then that's when my sister started saying, something ain't right. I said, yeah, I've been noticing that. And then so she was like, call 911. She was like, call 911, call 911. And then my niece started saying, oh, come on, y'all, calm down. You kind of exaggerate. But she was thinking that we was, getting too hyped over the situation, but we kind of knew what time it was. We was on the, thank God for discernment. Man. So anyway, we was driving on down the road. We noticed that road was getting darker and darker, and it was a two-way road too, like 2-lane road too. But those back roads are very dangerous. So anyway, she was like, okay, I'm gonna turn off. And at the time that she was telling me to call 911, I don't know, I just couldn't figure out how to. I mean, it's just like God had took my, it's just like I had became dumb, because I did not know, pretty much, like I'm gonna say, it's just like I didn't even know how to call 911, which was a good thing, because I'm getting to it, so don't judge me. So
Again, it's understandable. You heard the sister say that, hey, she was so shaken up and nervous, she froze, okay? And I just gotta say it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of our women, they run their mouths, or they talk big, bad, this, that, the third. But then when a situation like this arises, that's what happens. They freeze. All that mouth is just mouth. Fact of business, the more they talk, the more afraid most of them are, okay? That's not you in the chat room. Hey, I ain't talking about y'all, because I know most of you sisters over here, y'all, hey, especially y'all down here from the South. Yeah, y'all ready, okay? But there's a lot of women that fit that description right there. You freeze. You can't do that. You got to train yourself not to do that, because not being able to act in a mission critical situation like that, where it's like, okay, if you don't call this right with what you do next, everybody could lose their life. And this was a very serious situation. So now, when she said she was trying to call 911, she's right. It's probably a good thing she didn't call them in that area, because them good old boys show up, and ain't no guarantee they're going to be the ones that actually trying to do the job of a real police officer. You understand? That's what you might get when them bubbas showing up, okay? So the first people you should call is your family. Yes, let them know what's going on first. You understand? I've already said earlier on what everybody in that car need to do as far as getting ready to deal with that situation. Now, into some back road like they were. Again, I try to, discourage women from doing that. If you're traveling by yourself at night, You need to be trying to get to where there's some people at, you know what I'm saying? I mean, get somewhere where there's lights and civilization, all right? I mean, you got to think tactically in that situation, all right? So they're going to further describe what they was thinking, and it's a lesson for everybody that's listening to this broadcast because, again, right now as we speak, there are some women by themselves in a situation like this. It might not be particularly a sundown town, but it's a dangerous situation. It's just a bunch of them by themselves. Ain't nobody prepared to do nothing but panic and be afraid. And that is not a good look. That does not get you back home to your family safe. All right. See, I need to start doing more broadcasts on that because, you know, again, you have a lot of people that the only thing they think about is having a good time. Having a good time. You have to think about life with balance. Yes, it's good to have fun. We all need that to recharge and rejuvenate. But somebody has to be responsible in a time of crisis. Okay, you can't just break down and be petrified. All right, because like first of all, let me give you some incentive if you're a woman and you find what I say somewhat offensive. Let me talk to you this way. What good is being petrified in fear and being at the mercy of someone that has no mercy for you? I'm gonna say it again. What good is being petrified in fear and relying on the mercy of someone that has no mercy for you, okay? So let that settle in the back of your mind. Hopefully that'll kick you into high gear of thinking and acting and being prepared before you hit the road. Because see, let me say this again, this whole situation that they had right here, this encounter, it was caused because they wasn't paying attention to which turn they were supposed to take. And they took a wrong turn, and here we are with this situation. Let's let it continue.
Okay, this is what my sister was like, call 911. And I was like, okay, so you want me to call 911? I don't know why I said that. And then I looked at my phone because I had my phone in my hand. I'm looking at it, and then I say, then I turn around and say, I said something to her, and then she was like, I said, no, I said, you want me to call 911? She said, I don't know. And then I said, well, I don't know what to do. And I took the phone, put it down, which I really could have called 911 and said, hey, we in this town, da-da-da. And then finally I said, what town we in? Because, you know, I really wasn't paying attention to the town. And I was like, what town are we in? And she was like, Jasper, Alabama. I said, let me check the history of this town. So I'm on my phone Googling, trying to figure out, trying to see what the history was. And I asked.
See, and again, I'm not trying to be cruel because, like I said, they just everyday average black folks. But let me throw this further advice out here, especially for younger women, okay? Because I get it. Everything I'm gonna say is some people may hear it and fall on deaf ears, but hopefully if they hear enough of it, they'll take some of it to heart, all right? For the younger sisters that, you know, hey, y'all like to go on these little road trips, girls trip, it's just you, ain't no dudes that you know traveling with you. Let me tell you something. Whoever riding shotgun in that passenger seat, they're supposed to help you navigate. That's the person that's supposed to say, hey, all right, you know, we got our turn coming up in the next 10 miles, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? You got to help keep that driver on point. All right. Then another thing, too. Now, they didn't say this was their particular situation, but if you're going to be, you know, taking long trips somewhere, hey, you know, travel with somebody where y'all alternate driving. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes folks get tired. That person in that passenger seat need to be able to switch out with you if need be. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? You can catch a break and y'all kind of split the load. You know what I'm saying? On a long trip is what I'm saying. But whoever's in that passenger seat or in that car, they should be able to help you navigate to get where you're going. All right? Because, you know, sometimes things happen, you know, especially if all of y'all yakety, talking. I'm like, hey, man, somebody focus on getting us where we do all the talk you want. Just don't be missing your turns, especially at night. Okay? I just want to throw that out there. Let's let it continue.
Google. Was Jasper, Alabama, Sundown town, and it said yes. And I was like, I said, Pam, get us out of this town.
That was surprising.
I said, this is Sundown town, get us out of town. Because when sundown mean you cannot be in the town when the sun go down. So I knew that. And so, but my niece was like, oh, y'all exaggerating, just calm down. I'm going to call my dad. She was back there so important.
Okay,
I'm gonna leave her alone. But anyway, she was like, y'all just, but she didn't know the extent to it. So that's the reason why we're making this video, because a lot of these younger people don't understand the extent to a sundown town. And that's the reason why we, you know, they probably not paying attention to like we probably would. But that's not it. I did some research, and yes, I did find out a few people, and y'all can go check this out too, have mysteriously came up dead in this town, in Jasper, Alabama. And the case that gets me the most is we found that out when we got out of there, because I kept looking. It was this Chastity lady, and the last stop that she was at was in some truck stop or something that was in Jasper, Alabama. And she came up missing. I think she's missing to this day. I may have to go back and read that. And so I asked, then they, in the news.
Talk about irony. She was talking about, hey, a lot of young people wouldn't understand what sundown times are. Obviously, she doesn't either. But let me give all black people some useful advice here on how we can all make sure we know where they are, because they all over the United States. Let me tell you one of our biggest weapons as far as knowing where these types of places are and being warned in advance. Talk to your truckers out here, okay? Your black truckers, hey, they travel from one end of this country to another. We got them in our family. Hey, we all compare notes on the things we already know. And see, that's something that, you know, we got to start tightening up on, using our black truckers out here. Because, hey, they know where them places at, all right? They know where them places at. Like I said, I know where several are at. Hey, I don't care whether it's just here in the South or all over. I'll be like, hey, look. You black, you better use the buddy system passing through there. You don't really need to be stopped for that. I don't care whether it's day or night. No, make sure you can straight shot through that bullshit. Because, you know, I know it sounds unbelievable in 2025, but we still have these hills have eyes, you know, places out here that, you know, black people just passing through and they ain't doing nothing to nobody that they want to harm you. But that's the reality. Okay? There's a lot of places. Look, let me tell y'all something. It's some parts. Yeah, any of you that have been out this way, you know what I'm talking about. Going out towards West Nevada, places going towards Vegas. Oh, yeah. It's some places you do not need to be stopping if you black. You understand? Where my people from over there, y'all know what I'm talking about. Because, see, a lot of times, I just want to reiterate this to the younger people that may be listening. When I say young, I'm talking Gen Z. Because, you know, hey, they don't know these things yet, especially if they don't have anybody to teach them. When we say sundown time, we're not just talking about down here in the South, okay? Oh, there are northern sundown towns, Midwest, East, West. I mean, listen, that's just not germane to the South, okay? So that I just want to make sure we're clear on that, all right? But again, you got to try to have you some type of awareness of about what's going on out here. Like I said, the best way is to talk to a lot of black truckers that's out here. Then while you on the road, make sure that that vehicle is outfitted for some type of self-defense just in case. Sure, it may never happen, but I'm going to say it yet again. Better to have it and not need it and not have it, okay? Always think that way. And see, it's critical if you're going to be a woman that's out here by yourself, you got to remember that you your front line of defense. Sure, look, I don't want you to become complacent and start thinking that, okay, well, you know, if something happened, surely somebody will come to my rescue. Let me talk to you yet again, especially my young sisters. You black in America, you are hated, okay? You would think that way, but no. Especially if it's them folks. Anybody outside of our race, no, they're not coming to help us, okay? They're not. So you have to remember that. Don't become complacent. Be like, yeah, I know if something happened, yeah, they no, you can't count on that. It starts with what you able to do for yourself. If you ain't no men around, you your front line defense. You got to think in terms of security, okay? So what I'm saying is, in plain simple terms, you can't be the type of chick that just carefree, lollygag. And if you're gonna be by yourself, you got to be aware and you got to be prepared. Practice your Second Amendment right. You need to be going to the range. Let me tell you something. It's like women get together and go to brunch and all that other stuff. Hey, get together and hit that range. If you ain't going to hit the gym, hit the damn range, okay? Y'all be prepared and know how to use, you know what I'm saying, self-defense if you need to, all right? And self-defense doesn't just mean weapons. It means how you think as well in these type of situations so you can navigate and get out of it, all right? So I'm going to let them continue here. And again, I'm going to keep stopping it. Point out some things that I noticed. All right, so let it continue.
I don't even believe the newspaper article, the way it's reading, but I get back to that because I'm finna hop back to the conversation that I was on in the beginning. Okay, so I could never figure out how to call the police. So like I said, I was like, when I started searching the history of it, then I was like paying. And so by that time, she decided she was gonna try to tricked this man by turning real quick while turning on her signal light. But she realized that if she had done that, he would have hit her straight from the back. So I was like, I say, so you really, I say, you must be trying to turn. She was like, yeah, I was trying to turn. And then she was like, but he would have hit us from the back. He still, no matter what, no cars coming on the other side, he still went past us. It's like he was trying to usher us, push us on down further down the road. And I noticed that she was picking up her speed too fast, like 65, 70. That was too fast to me on that road, because you never know if another car coming on the other side passing, or, you know, you just never know going around those curves. So it's best to drive safely around those type of curves and on those type of roads.
When you in for your life.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that part, and that's what I was saying.
I had to follow my intentions.
Exactly.
That's
so,
right.
But what I was telling you was to just slow down, you know. So anyway, you know, we
had to get down.
Yeah. So anyway, so she
Get
did
around.
start slowing down, so he still would never pass us, but all at the same time, he was acting like he was angry with us. Then this other car that was behind him, he was weirdly dressed driving behind him. So guess what? I never did call the police. So what she did was she hit the brake. No, she didn't hit the brake. She turned the signal light on right, slung in there. When soon as she turned the signal light on the right, she slung in. And we probably slung in on almost 30 or something like that. I think that was the quickest slang I had. So anyway, when she turned in there real quick, he slowed down, and I mean, when he hit that gas, he hit that gas like vroom. We kind of like heard the
tires.
Yeah, his tires.
And then this is mysteriously thing. As he kept driving, we couldn't see him no more.
The road was so
just
dark.
that dark till a white truck faded out.
The road was so dark. And then
I'm glad we didn't go down that road.
Yeah, then the next crazy thing was the other car that was behind him, I guess the plan didn't go like they thought it would. So he ended up, instead of him turning his left signal light on, he just slung off the road, which was weird. He did like this, zoom, like this right here, cause see, the way we was turned, I saw him just slang off. And I was like, these men's mean business. When you in a sundown town, these people ain't playing with you. They come together. They mean business. They were coming in packs. So guess what? That wasn't it. Remember, I told y'all I just couldn't think how to call the police or 911. It's just like my brain went blank, and I didn't even remember how to call the police, and I know how to do that. So anyway, when we finally got back, we was bagging out, and when I say Pam bagged out, she was already on 30 when she bagged out. Like, we was moving. So here come the police. The police coming in. Pam said they go to police. And I said, and we was like, we didn't even call him. So where did he come from? He was coming down behind them on the same road, because we was going to be further down on that road. So the police, he slung in there. He slowed down. And the reason why we came to the conclusion, we may be wrong, but the guy that was behind us in the white truck, we really believe that he had already called out tag in, and the police verified some stuff or whatever. This is just our theory now. Now,
let me stop her right here and confirm her theory, okay? Now, everything that they're stating, believe it or not, they're right on the money with that. Let me talk to them for a minute. Let me talk to anybody under the sound of my voice with sense of listen. When you pass through a sundown town, and I'm going to break this down simple because I want young people to be able to get what I'm about to say. Think back to what happened to our brother Ahmaud Arbery down here in Georgia. Whenever you enter a white person's neighborhood, white folks' neighborhood, when you ever go where their little enclaves are at, everybody and their mama, if ain't no black people around there and they used to only seeing white folks, they've communicated with other folks. They might not have said nothing to you, but they're letting everybody else know it's a nigga in the neighborhood, okay? In this scenario here, same thing. You got to understand that when you hear all these different stories about black people going missing, a lot of it is because they passed through areas like this and got caught up in these types of traps. What happens is, you got to remember the good old boys, a lot of them are related to a lot of these race soldiers in these so-called police departments. Yes, he probably did call they tag in. Got one of them bubbers out there. They probably called a couple more people, and they were probably getting ready to run them off the road and do God knows what to them that they would not have survived. You understand? So she's right about that. And again, this broadcast is not to scare anyone, it's to educate. Because sadly, and this is the part that really just puts a knot in my stomach, it's a lot of our sisters out here that think just like this. That's the sad part about it. Even worse, if you tried to talk to them to put them in a position where they wouldn't have to be dealing with nothing like this, they wouldn't listen. That's the crazy thing about it. So for anybody that's over here or anybody that finds this, you'll have a brother that's trying to tell you what the right thing to do is. And if you do come across this broadcast, I want you to look at my chat room, because the brothers and sisters over here, we on code to the point where, hey, we try to look out for one another. So I want you to pay attention to the things that are said in the chat, because they have good solutions over here as well. This is a community over here. If you're new to this channel, this is what we do over here. We talk about things that are actually germane to Black people's safety and our well-being. We also talk solutions to these things, okay? So again, I'm going to let them continue with their story here, but now you kind of see how their mindset, you know, they were just completely unprepared for what they were dealing with. And thank goodness they survived to tell this story. And I hope that they never find themselves in this situation again. I'm hoping that once they got back stationary, got home, they let the men in their family know what was going on, and hopefully they've gotten them better prepared. Because I already know what I would do. These are my female family members right here, and they told me what was going on. I'd be like, oh, you finna move completely different from now on the next time that you go anywhere on a long trip like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would be making some changes to that. Okay, but anyways, we're going to let them continue with their story, family. Let's get back to it.
The guy more than likely only saw me and Pam, me and my sister sitting here, up here, because my nephew was down on the third row seat and no one could see him. My niece was kind of leaned back right here. My son, you really couldn't see him, but he probably thought he just had two of us. But my biggest fear was, when after I thought about everything, was it was 5 of us in that vehicle. And the thing was, they was gonna get rid of all 5 of us. They was not finna play with us. And this is not to, they was not going to play for, I don't even understand how sundown towns can be even legal in the United States in 2025.
2025.
See, this statement she just made right here, this further just made my stomach cringe and knots. And it reiterates the fact that I know I'm right about my assessment on this woman's demeanor, about being educated about racism and white supremacy. Lady, they don't have to be legal on the books. We in the system of white supremacy in America. If you want to be honest, every fucking city should be considered a sundown town. But the way these white supremacists are moving, yeah, let's just go ahead and put it out there like that, huh? And you hear us saying, how is that legal? Are they legal in 2025? They're not legal on paper, but in the system of white supremacy, it's common law, okay? That's the thing. And see, look, let me tell everybody on the sound of my voice something else. One of the things that you need to master and practice on, if you're not adept at this already, whenever you face with a situation that's dire, worrying about what should have happened, what could have happened, being afraid, you got to put all that out your mind and go into problem solving mode. You understand? For encounters like this and others, all right? Because, see, you know, just the way they're recounting this, I'm like, I'm not hearing them so far talk about what they gonna do to prevent this next time. You know what I'm saying? It's all talking about, hey, look how we was out here with our ass hanging out. You know what I'm saying? In a figurative way, unprepared, and you know they're just talking about that. I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do to change? You know, being in that situation. First and foremost thing, you need to pay attention to where you're going. All right, because like my brother Project Leroy said earlier, it shouldn't be too hard to be paying attention to these signs out here, these big ass shields on the road telling you when your exit coming up, et cetera, okay? Yeah, I mean, that's first thing. And then, you know, I can imagine how they missed that turn. Everybody was probably in there talking, music playing, whatever, wasn't focused on nothing. You know, everything, focused on everything except for that damn road, all right? See, everybody can't be distracted on a long road trip like that if it's going to be all females, okay? You can't do that. You got to make sure you're getting where you're going. Got to, especially if you're going to be traveling at night, which is something I hate for them to do, but I get it. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes you have to. But if you're going to move like that, you got to move smart, okay? So they're going to finish talking about the rest of this family. Let's let it continue.
And come to find out, Chastity, and I'll keep bringing this lady name up, she got killed. Well, they can't find her, I'm assuming, January 2025.
2025.
Yeah, 2025, this year. So, I don't know what that,
Well, it's more than just Chastity missing.
When the police came around, everyone, I say her family needs to get back on that case if they believe that. They need to get back on it because the police will came to the conclusion that he was involved.
They worked
because
together.
when he came round, he was looking for something. And we was the only one on that road. And when he came in off the road, swinging in there, he didn't have a signal light on either. And when he slung in, he noticed our vehicle. And I guess he already he was trying to figure out who was it. But see, my sister drive this Toyota, it's real luxury. And so it is.
No, it's not.
So he slung in there and he slowed down like this right here. So he looked at our vehicle. And then he just slung in this way like he was getting ready to go up and turn around. And that's how Pam hit that gas. And so all three of them had scattered in three different directions. Praise God. She had started saying Psalm 91. Our niece was getting tired of us. My nephew was sleeping. My son, he just was very attentive because I knew that if we had a situation where they had got us out of this vehicle, we was gonna be fighting, to the last.
Sure enough.
But anyway,
but God, He shielded us.
He shielded us.
He shielded
and
us.
so,
Prayer works.
and
Prayer works.
she was saying Psalms 91, and then at that time God had laid on my heart when this verse, you will live and not die, and I said, we will live and not die. I said I didn't come all the way to Atlanta and then go to Texas to die. I said this is not going to happen here. So anyway, and it.
Let me pause this right now. I'm going to be as respectful as I can. I, too, am a man of faith, and I don't disrespect anybody's religious preference, beliefs, or what have you. But that being said, just saying I'm going to pray, God got me, that is not enough, okay? You pray, then act. You pray, then take preparations, okay? So that you will not be vulnerable out here. And again, I think a sister said it earlier in the chat room that she was right on the money. That's the kind they sound like they some, women that be up in somebody's church, no disrespect to anybody that is, you know what I'm saying? But you got to move like you're on a mortal plane of existence down here. That's what all of us are, okay? So that's great. Pray, but make sure you take action, all right? God blesses the actions that you take. You can't just say, I'm going to pray about it, then just, God got me. I'm going to just roll around out here unprepared. And I know that's not what they're saying, but, when I hear my people talking like that about situations that require real world physical solutions, yes, all praises are due to the Most High, but you have to take steps on your own to protect your well-being, okay? You have to do that. So that's something that, I just had to say because, I'm hoping that they learn something from the encounter so it's not to just be out here like that. You know what I'm saying? And look, I wonder what age the lady's son was, because I can imagine he was in the car like, oh, man, ain't no telling what's finna happen with him. And I can almost guarantee you nobody in that vehicle had no type of Second Amendment protection. I know it. I know they didn't because they would have been talking about it. That's how I know. So again, we going over this. If there's a lesson to be learned, let's get back to it.
Kind of like get me emotional when I think about it because you don't want to believe
moment. You can't forget
in these times and at this era in my life and times that this is really happening. And then I thought about those two little young boys that got murdered. Those two twins. And they were getting ready to go celebrate their birthday. I thought they didn't pay attention. So that's what my main concern. My niece was like, oh, just calm down. And see, this younger generation is not paying attention to things like this. They don't understand that people hate you because of the color of your skin. People can talk about Pookie and Ray Ray all day long, but we don't agree with that. But Pookie and Ray Ray is not out here unaliving people, because I know we're finna put this on TikTok, murdering people because of their skin color.
Now, see, again, talk about not being self-aware. She talking about what the young people don't know. And she's saying that, okay, people hate you just because of the color of your skin. Okay. If you know that, then why don't you move prepared like you know that? Let me talk to y'all, man. You got some people out here that, you know, they'll talk very disrespectfully about, you know, black veterans and, oh, they do things like they were still in the military and all this. I'm like, you goddamn right I do. You damn right I do. Because I understand the reality of the situation I'm in this country. The United States government spends the largest portion of its economic revenue on defense, and so do I. You damn right. That's something I like, yep, I am no longer an enlisted member, but my self-defense is my number one priority. My security and well-being around my home, having the ability to protect myself if need be, and my loved one. So for all those idiots, you know, because it's a little knucklehead that keep doing that, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't going to mention the dude's name or whatever. His name ain't worth mentioning, but he know who he is, okay? I always got some little snide remark to make. Let me tell you something, man. The cornballs that talk that way about not even just, you know, former military service members that are black, but any black person, male or female, that errs on the side of let me be prepared. The people that's talking crazy like that, as big as they mouth are, they're not prepared to do a damn thing but talk. Let me tell you something, especially for the young men listening to the sound of my voice. You pride yourself on being the one or one of the people in your family where if shit hit the fan, you ready. You might be the one that be the difference between you and your family getting back home safe or not. You understand? And that's something I want all black people to take seriously, men and women, okay? See, we got to get back to doing things as a family. And a part of that should be self-defense training. Not only that, but taking first aid, CPR classes, being prepared in case of an emergency, okay? On the other end of the spectrum, just in case somebody get hurt, you need to have that type of training. You understand? Just in case, because you never know when it might come in handy. So again, you know, I'm doing this from the standpoint of trying to encourage our people to be prepared. No matter what life throws at you, be prepared to some extent. It's better to have some type of training or advanced know-how on how to deal with things versus just being in a crisis and the only thing you can do is just huddle up in a corner and pray somewhere. Because, you know, chances are that might not work out for you so good. You know, see, this is what people don't understand. And I got to say this, it's going to hurt some people's feelings. When you pray, sometimes the answer might be no. Sometimes it might be no. God gives us the great and wonderful gift of having common sense as long as we're not born with any type of mental disability. Therefore, he expects us to apply that common sense. Let me go a little bit biblical here with it before I let this continue. For people that are Christians and have faith, think back to the account where Jesus was being tempted by Satan himself. And Satan told him, hey, throw yourself off the top of this wall and see if, you know what I'm saying, you'll be caught. Because it's written that, you know, not even a foot will be injured by a stone of the Son of Man. And what did Jesus tell Satan? He said, it is written, you must not put your God to the test this way. Plain and simple, you don't put the Most High to the test by being foolish, okay? Yes. So I'm just saying, you know, y'all can look that account up in yourself for your Bible. Look in the gospel in Matthew, it's in there, all right? All I'm saying is think. Don't just be running around out here, God got me. Yeah, he got you. He gave you common sense. He gave you the ability to make sure that you use your brain in situations. I'm saying this to men and women alike, okay? We're going to let it continue.
They don't have that history. And I know that this is taught to people, but people should think about that. You shouldn't. We was trying to enjoy our lives. People are trying to live their life. They're not trying to go somewhere and be unalive or, you know, because of their skin color. That is the worst thing that anybody can do, and that is the worst death somebody can die. I have no control over my skin color. Talk to God about that, because God is the one that created us all. So if you have a problem with someone's skin color and you praying to God and you going to church, I want to know. I'm picturing this man in my mind. I'm just thinking he's a little fat slob or something like that was driving.
See, I can tell this sister probably doesn't study anything about, Jim Crow or, anti-black racism, even in the current day society. I guarantee if you mention Dr. Frances Cress Welsing or Neely Fuller Jr. to her, she probably never heard either one of those people, okay, or anybody else like them. But see, she said that, because she's going into the church thing again here. And see, this is something that, again, leave whatever faith you think makes you a better person. But that passing this down like this, the only response you're supposed to have to danger, that is not a good thing to do for younger generations. Let me tell it to you straight, okay? This was taught to me and my family. You can not like me because I'm black. That's your right to do that. I'm fine with you doing it. In fact, the business, I'd rather you make it known you don't like me because I'm black. No problem. But I'm going to tell you one damn thing that I do have control over. I have control over not being an easy target. And I'm going to make sure that I'm a hard target at all times. I recognize my mortality, okay? So therefore, I'm going to make sure I'm a hard man to kill at all times. As long as I have my faculties about me, I'm going to make sure that it ain't going to be no easy task for you. And I hope all black people adopt that mentality. Your life is God-given. Nobody has the right to take it from you if you're not trying to harm nobody else or do anything untoward to people. We have the right to exist just like everybody else down here on this planet. And see, she's talking about, the anti-black racists, white supremacist cowards. What she doesn't understand is some of their anti-black racist organizations, like the Ku Klux Klan, called themselves a Christian organization. I don't think this woman understands that the people that hate us, they actually think that that's something God ordained. They don't serve the same God as we do. They don't. Okay? So all this talk about church and all of that, you wasting your time talking to people like that. Look, whether she intended to or not, I always tell people this, and I've said it for years. Who you think you're trying to appeal to? You can't appeal to the compassion and mercy of an enemy that wants you destroyed. Okay? There's no compassion to appeal to. You wasting your time. At that point, you better make sure that you prepare to defend yourself, okay? So see, this is where, this type of talk, it does people a disservice if you ain't talking about what you're going to do to solve the problem beyond that. So again, man, I hope the son learned something from this. Like I said, they didn't say nothing, at least not yet, about, whether the son's father's in their life or whatever, but I hope he had to talk with his father about this, and his father got him to say, okay, son, now we're going to make sure you train and prepare to deal with XYZ, you know what I'm saying, however old the young man is. Hopefully he's of age to use a firearm, but, like I said, I just hate they was in this situation. Let's let it continue.
Behind us, but that's just my imagination. But I'm thinking, like, how many people?
We don't know.
No, those were men. They come in packs like that. I feel in my spirit those were men. Those were not women.
I'm just
but
saying.
The women's, they got to be in agreement with that mess, because everybody in that town, the reason why a sundown town is called a sundown town is because they work together. Because if they did not work together, that town would not exist like that.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right about that. But see, I want to say something else to everybody on the sound of my voice here tonight. When somebody hates you, the reason why is not important. You know what is important? That you survive and neutralize the threat. That's how we were trained to think, okay? Doesn't matter. It's a million reasons why somebody could hate you. That's not important at all. I could give two fucks what your reason why is. The thing I care about is that you're not able to succeed at whatever harm you're trying to bring to me. That's the proper way to think, dealing with anybody that has that end for you like that. Let it continue.
But that's not the end of it. We finally, thank God, we got out of there. Thank God we got out of there. And we made it. We was willing. This is what I said, because I had to be at work the next day. Pam, then, we both have our own business. Then I still work part-time. So anyway, I had to be at work the next day, and I was like, well, I'm just going to let them know. I'm going to call and let them know, hey, we had to get a room overnight. Now I just, be there Tuesday. So we was willing to drive all the way back to Atlanta and get a room or Alabama further from that place and get a room
It's possible.
and start over the next day. We was willing because, you know, our life, it's not a price to our life. And see, I'm gonna hop back to this right here. What scared me the most was, if I had I'm so glad that God dumbed me down, and that's what I'm gonna say it like that. He dumbed me down temporarily, is because if we had a call, that police calls, if I had said, let me find out the number to this town once I found out that it was Jasper, Alabama. And if I had said, let me call this number, you know, you can Google it. Of course, you know, we have access to getting the number. So if I had to call the number, that particular police would have came. And see, at that time,
Like they have one.
at that time, if I had a call and he came, then we wouldn't have probably nobody would, they wouldn't have known what happened to us, because he probably would have been the one that came out. And if he was in on it, and he was in on it, I mean, like, everybody's actions were just so suspicious, and all of them was trying to come down on the same road. We not making this up. So anyway,
just following you.
If he
No, ain't
had
that
a
much following
came,
in the world.
if he had came, then he probably would have just went ahead on, pulled out his gun. And I was telling my sister, I said they probably thought that it was just the one in the back. He didn't want called everybody, and he probably thought it was just the two of us. But there was my 18-year-old niece, and then of course my son and my sister's son. I said that was too many people. That was too many people to, you know, probably hang or something like that, or whatever they were gonna do. And I said they probably would have never found us, or we probably would have been in some creek or something like that, because, you know, they were gonna make it seem like an accident or something like that. But that's exactly what they probably was gonna do, something like that. I don't think they probably would have tried to. They wouldn't have been able to explain 5 hangings.
Now, let me deal with what she just said here, and I'm going to give you the accurate assessment on it right here, because the last part she just said, oh, that would have been too many people to explain 5 hangings or whatever they was going to do. No, that's not the reason. Let me tell you the only reason that them white supremacists aborted the mission, so to speak. If they're going to do something to you, and by the time one of them passed by to see that it was more than just 2 of them in the car, let me tell you what saved their life. We're just going to get straight to it right here, because I waited to get to this part. What saved their life was, let's just say it was the guy in the vehicle and it was just him. And then, you know, the race soldier back there, it was just him. If it was 5 of them in the car, that's too many people to deal with in a short order of time. That's the only reason. See, look, when they get you, they got to do it quick, fast, and in a hurry. It ain't got nothing to do with, you know, it being too many to explain. No. If they would have had enough people there in them vehicles to deal with them, oh, they would have tried them. They definitely would have just ran them off the road and got busy doing what they was going to do. That's the only reason that they're allowed to tell this tale. Had it been enough of them rednecks that they felt they could have handled everybody in that car, oh, yeah, it would have went down. It would have went down. Okay? So that's the only reason that they're here. And I'm glad they survived it. But again, I'm hoping that they learn from the encounter. Let's let it continue.
You know what I'm saying? And when I think about that makes me so nervous. That makes me so nervous to think that I done made it to the age I am. Both of us are grandmothers. We done made it to the age that we are. Mothers, grandmothers. But we done made it to the age that we are. And I have seen a lot of this stuff on TikTok. And just so happened just yesterday, because not yesterday, maybe Monday or whenever it was, I saw the other guy. I can't call his name. I'll probably put his name in here. And I said to my sister, now he was talking about this trucker guy. This guy that drives trucks. He said when he first started out driving trucks or something like that, and this white lady was coming out telling him, you know, his truck was acting up and he was in the Sundown town.
Yeah.
And they hurried up and got him out of that Sundown town. It literally means what it means. Like, but to me, that is so ignorant. It is so ignorant. Because why would you, someone just passing through, someone just getting gas, why bother that person? They not trying to move into your town. It's not like they going to the what is them people, whoever they are.
See this type of mindset right here? This is something that every man in the sound of my voice, you better make sure that your significant other don't think this way. It does not matter why somebody's going to try to do you harm. It does not matter. Even trying to lend credence or thought or make sense of that type of demonic insanity, that does you no good. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, are you prepared to neutralize the threat? That's the only thing that matters. See, this right here, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot of women in our community that fit this type of criteria right here. The way they think, their thought process, trying to fit, oh, well, it don't make sense. White supremacy is evil. They are demonically insane. You cannot reason with evil. There's no way to make sense of that. You would drive yourself crazy trying to understand them. The thing you need to do, make sure that you are prepared so that you can survive these types of encounters. So, again, I want y'all to listen to where they're thinking about this, because it's like, you would think that after they experience this, there would be more going down the lines of, okay, hey, look, we're going to be prepared next time. We're going to take some self-defense classes as far as like practicing our Second Amendment rights, making sure that we, are better aware of where we going when we out here on the road, having a buddy system, somebody to meet you. I mean, all the things I mentioned previously. You would think they would be saying some of that. And then, like a brother mentioned earlier in the chat room, you ain't hearing them talk about, okay, where they looking for what they had available to them in the car in case they did need the defenders. I mean, you're not hearing anything other than Jim just reciting what happened, which is good. I'm glad the sisters are allowed to tell the story. But, you got to get in the problem solving mode at some point. Okay. So we're going to let it continue. I just want y'all to remember that this, see, they trying to make sense of something that can't be made sense of. There is no rhyme or reason to evil. It is what it is. You just make sure it can't take you out of here before your time. Let it continue.
Get a contract to get a house or something like that in your neighborhood. I mean, even if they were, but to that point, we just trying to get through, get some gas, or get home, take a route home. We're not trying to live in your town. So you using that because you want to kill people. You just want to kill black people.
Exactly.
Or Mexicans or whatever. But I know black people. I know we number one on the list. And the crazy thing is, everybody came from Africa anyway. You get what I'm saying? Y'all came from us anyway, whether you like it or not. So I hope you're watching this, because if you had trust me, we got some important people in our family, and I mean, like, they have high positions, and I'm sure they would have got down to the bottom of what happened to us. But we just want to warn y'all. So this is what we want to get on here and say, oh, let me talk about the Pilot, where we went to the Pilot, P-I-L-O-T gas station. We got out of there somehow, and I think we drove about, 30-some minutes or something like that?
We drove longer.
Maybe longer, close to 45 minutes, close to an hour. And we ended up at this gas station because by that time, when they say, scare the piss out of you, that started happening to me. I was like, we got to get to the bathroom. For real, it was like, they literally did. And so we made it to Pilot, and I was like, let me get in here, let me use the bathroom right quick, and then I say, I'll get a map. I say, because before GPS ever happened, I used to buy maps and, follow the map on the highway. I was pretty good at it. Mm-hmm. And so I went in there, I used the bathroom, and then I kind of waited till some of the customers who was at the register, because I kept letting people in front of me. I'm like, go ahead on, because we got other questions to ask. So anyway, by the time it kind of cleared out, Pam had came in and she used the bathroom, and then we started talking to her. We started talking to the guy that was there, a black lady and a man that was at the register, and that worked there. And so we asked him, we was like, I said, could you give us I said, do y'all have like a map or something that I can buy or something like that? I said, because we trying to get back on the right road. And then he started asking questions, and we started telling him that we ended up in Jasper, Alabama. He said don't go to that town. And I was like, well, we wasn't trying to go to that town. I say the GPS, we missed a turn, and GPS we accidentally end up on the road because we found the GPS that way, or however you want to see it.
Now, I'm so glad that she said that when they went to that store, she asked for a map, because I'm going to say this, especially to any young women out here that travel, you taking your girls trips or whatever. Always keep at least two maps in your car. Okay. Don't just rely on GPS. It does make mistakes sometimes. And then you still need to be aware of where you're going without GPS. Okay. Yes, we use modern technology. It makes our lives easier, But being over reliant on technology, sometimes that can make mistakes, puts you in a bad situation. So you definitely need to understand how to read a physical map. Now, why do I say keep at least 2 in there? Let me give y'all an old rule of thumb here. Yes, I'm talking to you from military experience. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Okay? I'll say it again. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Now, why am I saying that and what does that mean? If you have 1 of something, that is critical. 1 flashlight, 1 map, 1 whatever, and something happens to that 1, what do you have? None. 0. Always have a backup, okay? So I'm having the 1 map, hey, you got another glove compartment, wherever you gonna keep them, you know, over the, you know what I'm saying, your mirror, what have you, wherever you gonna have more than 1 when it comes to those things. Again, you should have more than 1 flashlight in the car, etc. All right. So remember that 2 is 1, 1 is none. Always have a backup of the essential things that help you out, you know, in these types of situations. So you're not stuck if something happened to that just 1 that you have. Okay. Let it continue.
And then he was like, no, he said it is a sundown town. We was like, is that a sun? We said, we found out it was sundown town. He said it is a sundown town. And then the girl was like, she was like, oh, she said, I never go through that town. She said, I never go that way. She said, because there, white people there, she said they are really racist and evil in that town. That was her exact words. It wasn't my words. And then he said, what I do is get y'all back on the right road. So he took about 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know if they probably did a video too. I don't know. But we really want to thank that man. We're not going to call his name out. I did write his name down because we was talking. But we really thank them. We really appreciate it. If y'all see this video, thank y'all. Thank y'all. But he got us back on the road to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, if I said it right. And we got back on 20 West.
Now, that's something I'm glad that they did because, see, let me talk to all my people, no matter where you from in this country, if you black. And I don't care if you FBA or non-FBA. See, that's something that we were real big on in times prior, 40, 50 years ago. We looked out for the black folks. So, again, my admonition to any women that's traveling alone, because, again, I get it. Everybody ain't going to have the ideal situation, which is to have yourself a husband or a male significant other that you're in a serious relationship with. But in the event that you don't have that, okay, if you think you lost or something like, hey, man, especially down here in Georgia, Atlanta, let me tell you something. We got you down here because we know how you motherfuckers are. Man, any black person, you stop somewhere where it's a decent area and you say, hey, brother, sister, I'm lost. Can you help me? We got you. We going to make sure you good. Hell, some of us will even get in the car and show you where you need to go because we don't want you hurt out here. You understand? So I can definitely say that for my state, my city. You understand? We going to help you. And see, that's what we need to all do no matter where we at. We need help other black people, man. That's something I always try to do no matter where I am in this state, outside this state, wherever. You black and I see, hey, y'all good? You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we looking out for each other because, see, you need to understand something. The Lord that these white supremacist numbers dip, they're going to become more demonically insane and more erratic, okay? What's going to determine whether we survive or not is how well we help each other. You understand? That could be just passing information that's vital, like these sisters needed at the time, or it might come down to actually protecting one another, okay? See, y'all know that I always say, that if I use the term brother or sister, that's an actual familiar term to me. And I don't refer to everybody as a brother or sister. These off-code Sambos and coons out here. Because see, look, let me tell you something, man. You got some jokers that will probably look at this, and I ain't even got to name their names. I've covered some of them names on this channel. They will look at this and think this is funny. I guarantee you, they'll look at this and think this was funny and wish that these sisters got hurt and didn't make it back. I, on the other hand, I love my people. And if I'm going to cover something, I'm going to do it in a way where it's trying to teach you so that you don't end up in these situations. I always try to make you think over here on this platform, whether you agree with everything I say or not. I want you to think, okay? Anything when it comes to self-defense and self-preservation, I'm always going to be trying to make you think, okay? So again, if you somewhere and you lost, You try to get the race fund of the Black Pro, we'll be more than happy to help you down here in the South. And I'm gonna say this also. If there's a situation where, hey, because I get it, sometimes let's just say, you know, you going to visit some people you haven't seen in a long time, y'all get having a good time, you forget about time, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, time flies when you're having fun. It started getting late. Let me tell you something we big on down here in the South, especially for women. We're like, hey, check this out. You know, it's getting late. Y'all by yourself? Nah, if you ain't gonna be able to crash at our house, let's get you a room and you get on the road in the morning. See, that's how we do it down here. You understand? Yeah, we can be like, hey, no, just you may well, it's about late. Hey, pick it up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing to do, okay? So I'm trying to tell you things that'll help you err on the side of caution. I hope that the younger sisters listen to this. You take my advice here. So let it continue.
20 West kept us back on the main busy highway. So that's what you want to do. So if you traveling, young people, older people too, because they don't care who they get. If you run in those towns, they do not care who you get. They was not going to ask us. The thing is, see, you know, don't be a fool. Have wisdom. The thing is, they wasn't going to ask us what religion we was, whether we was non-denomination, Jehovah's Witness, Muslim. They wasn't going to ask us any of that. They wasn't going to ask us what our profession is. Did we have some white friends? Did we have white relatives or white husband? They weren't asking us none of that. They was about whatever they was going to do. They meant business. And the police was in on it. So if y'all think that the police are not in on this stuff, when we hear about all of these hangings of these black men, and then the next day it's ruled a suicide. Me, my sister, my niece, and my son, because my nephew was asleep, are living witness that the police came. Saw him. He swerved down, then went left to go in. He looked confused. And it looked like he was finna bag back out. It looked like
he was looking for someone.
Yeah, he was finna bag. Looked like he was finna bag back out to me because he had turned the signal light on.
Right, he was looking.
And then so that's when my sister went round that hill, up that little slope, like we was in a Dukes of Hazzard movie, a show or whatever that was.
Oh, but I was gonna do it, and they came up on me.
Then so we went, and
I wasn't gonna.
And stop. Just so happened we went down a hill.
If I could help it.
It's a hill there. We went down a hill, and then that's when my niece finally started screaming, like, get us from down here. But the hill actually was the safest place at that time for us right then. So my sister kind of sit there for a minute, then she put it in reverse, then she looked back around, and we got up out of there. I mean, like, she was driving again like about out of hell, but that's fine because we want to get out of there.
Hello.
So
hello.
I mean, we just grateful that we made it out of there, and we just want to tell y'all, we told our mom, because we had to call our mom. My mom was like, did she call us back or something, trying to see have we made it yet? And yeah, she did. She called us back, and we was like, nah, we hadn't made it yet, because we got thrown back. And she was like, what happened? And I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell her. I went ahead and told her. And then so my mom didn't go back to sleep none that night, because she was kind of like taking her back from that. And she was being a mother. And you know, our mom in her 70s, because it's not like we some young jitties either. But anyway, but it's a blessing that we still alive. And I'm glad that we made it out of there. I'm glad that the devil didn't succeed at what he was doing. So whether you're a Christian, whether you're atheist, whether you don't like pork, or whether you just eat, you know, natural food or whatever, it doesn't matter. They not asking none of them questions. None of them. It's just that it's your skin that is the reason why they're gonna take you out of here. And that's one of the saddest things ever. And like I said, young people, please be safe, because sometimes y'all don't listen at people, but these people, they serious about it. I don't know what, I mean, I know it's groups of them and stuff like that, but they real serious about that. And if you can, stay out of their way. Always pray before you go somewhere, because last week God had me praying. I was just praying a lot on my way to work and stuff like that. So just, you know, put God first. Pay attention. Always sit back and do your, you know, check out your route and stuff like that, and follow it. Leave at a good timing. And if you're going to be with a group of young people or something like that, go with a group of young people that got some sense, some that got some discernment, and just You know, do your best. And I will say this right here. Make sure that you are a Second Amendment gun carrier. Please. Because
Never travel without
you
it.
definitely want to have some protection with you. Make sure that you got some protection with you. Use your gun only if you need to use
In
your
this
gun.
day
Don't
and
just go
time.
around using your gun because you have a gun. Use it if you need to use it. And in that situation, that was a time for us to use it. But anyway, we just thankful that we are here. I pray that all of us be safe
And always pray.
and stay prayerful. But that happened to us, and we want to share our story. We felt like we owe it to you all to warn
Y'all
you.
be safe out here this weekend,
Yeah.
especially if you're traveling.
Yeah, we warning
Especially
you.
if you're traveling.
So pay attention to warnings, because warnings come before destruction. Make sure you find out what towns is a sundown town.
I'm
And
gonna link a video. It won't be linked, but I'll put it in the comment section about a video I watched on TikTok about different.
Well, you can just
cities,
share that on your page. Yeah.
different cities that
But
that are
I
sundown.
really believe that we need that book again. I know it's an
it's
app.
the book. No, it's the book.
It's a book.
They talking about some green book.
Yeah, the green book was when back then, so they need to probably update it. Okay.
It's updated.
All right. Well, I'll probably
We'll put
be
it
doing
in there.
So be careful, be safe, be blessed, and love you all. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. So you heard those sisters' particular encounter there. And again, I am glad that they made it out of that situation healthy, safe, and happy, them and their family, to be able to tell the tale. But the lesson here tonight was to be prepared, okay? And I agree with the sister. Yes, always pray. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in this. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. You damn right. I'm glad that she said at the end of that to practice your Second Amendment rights. And look, let's talk about that for a second before we close. Brothers, because this is your primary responsibility for all the women that's in your life and your family, take them to the range, make sure that they're able to be a competent shot. But you know what else you have to teach them how to do regarding that weapon? You have to teach them how to maintain that weapon so that it's functional. Okay, it can't just be sitting up gathering dust. You got to clean it from time to time to make sure it's functional. So whatever particular firearm you choose, make sure you understand how to properly care for that weapon. Also, make sure that you practice deploying that weapon. Okay, because see, you don't just need to know how to deploy it when you're at the range. You need to practice and get better with your drawing technique. Okay. That way you're able to deploy that weapon as safely and as quickly as possible to neutralize whatever threat you need to. Also, understand that there's different types of ammunition. Now, if you're on my Patreon, you know that's where I go into detail about that kind of stuff and show you where you can find certain things over there that, you know, they get nervous when guys like me start talking about that kind of stuff in detail over here on YouTube, okay? But I gave y'all a couple of things that I really want y'all to get, so I'm going to reiterate that again. Ladies, let me talk to you, ladies. Hey, how you doing? Of our age ranges, if you are Second Amendment proficient and you're not one of these people that are just scared to death of firearms, because I get it, some people don't like no guns. But if that's not you, I want you to make acquaintances with the Remington 870 Witness Protection version or a TAC 14, all right? Go and look those up. Get your hands on one, go test it out somewhere, and you will see why I'm telling you that, okay? And my personal opinion, that's the one that I think all women should have as far as shotgun. That should be your starter shotgun, in my opinion, okay? You know, don't take my word for it. Go put GBS to the test and try it out, okay? So I definitely want you to take that to heart. Lastly, ladies, especially you young sisters, anytime that you experience anything like this that's, you know, dangerous, traumatic, or whatever, and you survive, you make sure that you're the one in the group that said, okay, y'all, what did we learn from this? We're going to make sure that we ain't ever caught lacking like this again, okay? I don't care whether it's paying attention to not missing a turn like these sisters was talking about. I don't care whether it's making sure that, you know, your vehicles are up to code before you get on the road going places. I mean, somebody in the group has to be the responsible one if there's no men around, okay? And I'm saying that with balance because I get it. Everybody ain't gonna have no perfect situation, all right? I just want my people to be safe out here, okay? Now, a couple other things I'm gonna leave you with. My good brother Torian Rain Reloaded has an excellent series on his channel called Sundown Towns. They go from the A road to the Z road on past, present. And I'm gonna tell you something, all the past ones still have that present day anti-black history, okay? So go on my brother Torian Rain Reloaded's channel and look for his Sundown Town series. Binge watch that. That young brother does outstanding work. And also, my good brother Philip Scott has just come out with a book called Us versus the Machine, okay? And I'm not telling y'all to get nothing that I haven't got. I've got it on order. It should be here this coming week here at Fact of Business. Get that book because it explains in depth and more detail on the system of racism and white supremacy in America, okay? That brother's always talking solutions in his work as far as what to do. We all try to. All right, because we all we got, for real. As cliche saying as that is, we're all we have in this country, family. So you got to try to take care of one another as best you can out here because we it's times coming where we really are going to need each other, all right? So be prepared and try to be an asset to any situation that you're in as far as protecting yourself and protecting others and your family first and foremost, okay? So with that said, thank you to everybody that contributed to the broadcast. Salute to all the new subscribers over here. Take care of yourselves, Black first, and I will see you all in future content.